All right, well, welcome. This is Mike Broadwell with Living Energy Secrets, and we're here today with Boris Aranovich and Annette Krauko, who are both Swedish. Boris is actually Russian-Swedish, or Swedish-Russian, however you say it, and Annette is Swedish. And I'm going to let Annette tell us more about Boris because he's got an amazing pedigree and background in the work of healing. So, Annette, tell us more about Boris and what he's done.
Sure, thank you, Mike. Well, Boris is a Russian Swede, as you said, and he came to Sweden, I think, about 20 years ago, where he started his own company. Before that, he's an engineer in Russia. He started in University for Alternative Health. He has written 14 books. He's a professional acupuncturist and healer, but most of all, he's very, very scientific in everything he does. So if is a new method or new discovery or new scientific interesting thing, he will always go through the scientific base of it and see that it really works. So when he discovered Aquatone, he got this information from his Russian friends, the scientists who developed Aquatone a few years back in Russia, where they discovered that the frequencies of water can be harmonized into a state so that all bodily tissues can be healed naturally by the body itself. And Aquatone came into his company about a year ago, and since then we've had really, really great interest in this device because it heals and strengthens the body in such a natural way. You can never overdose treating with Aquatone, for example. It's impossible because the body can only get as healthy as it wants to. Last week he came back from Italy and he held a presentation on Aquatone for the Italian Parliament. And they were super excited. So he's going back there in April, I think, and we will have another presentation. The Aquatone concept has already been presented in many other European countries already. And now we're hoping also to send this positive message to our fellow Americans. So
let me ask you, what really excited the Italian Parliament about it? Was there any particular thing that they really got their attention?
Well, I think what got their attention a lot was that there are so many clinical studies scientifically proven that this really works. We have over 6,000 people who have been clinically tested with this device, and they all have positive results. And the very, very interesting thing is that it covers so many different things. It could be allergy, asthma, broken legs, post or pre-surgery, name it, and you have it, because it's a way to help the body find its harmony in the liquids, in the fluids in the body, so it begins to restore itself. And sometimes when you have acute pain, it's super efficient. Me, for example, I've had like bruises. They disappear in a day just by using a certain program on the Aquatone. You can treat your animals if they have pain, or I treat on everyone I see, meet and know, because I know it's so effective. And many people are skeptical, but when I tell them this is actually scientifically based studies telling you this is working, and it's absolutely the first time we're talking about this in the US for Americans. It's a world news novelty, really. And we just want to spread the message to as many as possible, because that's also part of Boris' mission. He wants to help people. That's why he started and founded his company. And this is not the only device or method he's selling or marketing, but this is one of the most interesting ones because it covers so many areas.
Yeah, so
and also for athletes, if you want to become even stronger as an already healthy person, I'm a very healthy person. I use my Aquatone daily because I know I just keep getting even healthier, even stronger, and most of all, more energized. It energizes the body.
Yeah, we've been hearing more about how really a lot of the energy techniques, and that's what our audience is real familiar with. We discuss different energy modalities and techniques and things, and that what I've been learning, especially from Richard Fluke, who's one of the practitioners we've done a lot with, is that all these techniques are working on structuring the water in the body, that's really the secret to them.
That's true.
So would this device fall under a category like a pulsed electromagnetic frequency or PEMF, or how would you categorize this device in general for people?
It's an EMF, electromagnetic, but the waves are super, super low. They're like, I have to ask Boris now how low they are. Hur låg är strålningen från Aquatone om man jämför med en vanlig mobiltelefon? Hur låg är strålningen?
1 miljon gånger mindre än från mobiltelefon.
The radiation or the emission of electromagnetic waves in Aquatone is 1 million times lower than that of a regular cell phone. 1 million times lower.
Okay.
That's how low it is. And that's also the key to its efficiency.
Så det är exakt människans frekvenser. Det är precis som vatten.
It's exactly those frequencies that the healthy human body already has from the beginning. It's those frequencies. So you can never harm, you can never overdose. You can only heal and strengthen.
What are the frequency range? What range is that, would you say?
Vad är det för frekvensområden, Boris?
Decimetervågor.
Ja, vilka? Decimeter waves, he says. Vad är det för frekvenser? Vad heter frekvenserna?
Det är ungefär 10 minus 8, 10 minus 10 watt för centimeter kvadrat. 10 minus 10.
10 minus 8 to... we can send you that information, but
Okay.
I can't really translate what he said there.
Okay, that's fine. We'll have some other explanatory material here on the page. So we just wanted
we have a lot of information exactly on exact frequencies each program has and how they work. We have it on YouTube videos, we have text, we have handbooks, everything in English, so you can easily understand the technology behind this.
Yeah, and it's designed for personal use, right? It's very
Exactly.
simple. It's just a few different settings. I've been using the one that you sent me to try out, and it is effective, you know, and it just has a manual that kind of shows when to use it. And so, yeah, I can see, I could tell definitely a difference running it on different areas of discomfort or pain. And I'm generally pretty healthy as well, but there are areas and times as you get a little older, you get...
And it's rejuvenating too.
Yeah.
That's my prime use. I love it because it really rejuvenates the skin. We have like, I don't know, how many studies do we have, Boris? We have, I think, at least 20 studies from universities and hospitals. I think one was from Stanford University, another from Karolinska Institutet in Stockholm. And at the Karolinska Institutet, they also proved that it is rejuvenating because there is it's called fibroblasts. It's a small molecular thing in the skin that rejuvenates the skin and keeps it young. And by using Aquatone, it actually increased the number of these fibroblasts immensely. So it's really interesting to use also if you're very healthy. You just want to, have a nice looking skin.
Well, I was just reading from, I think it was a Dr. Bigelson about, and I forget what he called them, but there's actually tiny little plant matter in the blood. And that they've discovered fairly recently in some things, but that's kind of the key to, one of the keys to healing as well, that actually we have these little plant life things, and I forget the name off the top of my head, but it may be
talking about the blood, I mean, it's a major thing that we really have to look into, so we also always have a healthy blood. And Aquatone, what it does is that it really rejuvenates the blood, and it helps all these pellets in the blood to disappear eventually, and it widens the capillaries so the blood can flow easier. So, I mean, for example, my dad is pretty old now, and he has had heart problems, and whenever he has some kind of symptom of a heart problem, I use Aquatone on him on the solar plexus and back of the neck, and that alleviates the pain immediately because the blood flows much easier, and the capillaries becomes much more flexible, which is key to health.
Wow. And have they had studies that show this as well? Have you had some of the research studies have shown this too?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We have studies on all kinds of various diseases, on anything, also on children. So, I mean, you can use this on animals and children as well, because you cannot overdose.
Well, a lot of people too, if they're not familiar, the Russians in particular are quite advanced in these type devices compared to the U.S. And I know one that's well known here is something called the scanar, or there's different variations of it. But is there any similarity to this and something like the scanar?
You mean scalar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scalar is like 0-point energy, as far as I understand, sort of thing. It's not really the same. I can't, because I'm not really into understanding the scalar wave technology, but I know what you mean, and I know they can have similar effects, but I'm not sure whether or not that could be overdosed or over-treating the body somehow. I have no answer to that, but I know that Aquatone is so safe to use. We actually also have a European certificate for its safety, which is good to know. So it's been like authorized, stamped. So I can't really compare to different healing methods, because I know there's a lot of things out there now. But this is really affordable for the many, and that's the key, because I know the scalar tools can be really expensive. And this is meant to reach as many as possible, really. So that's why the price is pretty low. And I know for a fact it's much, much, much cheaper than any scalar method I have seen on the market.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was just one that I know of that people may have heard of, that's a Russian-developed technology that's pretty widespread. And how is it used? Is it used in medical clinics in different parts of the world already?
Yes,
Mostly
all over Russia. They already use it in hospitals because it's so efficient. And they also use it sometimes together with other therapies. And that's another positive thing with it, is that you can enhance other therapies results by using Aquatone together with them. So they are used in hospitals, they're used in clinics in Russia. Let me ask Boris a question if it's used in other countries as well. Boris, använder man Aquatone även i andra länder än Ryssland på sjukhus och kliniker idag?
Ja, den ingår i sjukvården. Den används på sjukhuset. För det mesta den variant som är professional variant.
I vilka länder? I vilka länder?
Nej, men det är Ryssland än så länge. Det är Ryssland.
So far it's only in Russia. And usually what he's showing there now is that there's also a professional version of Aquatone, which is, I think, maybe even slightly more efficient. But the one we're using, my best friend, is the one you also have tested out. So it's super easy to use.
Yeah, it's very easy to use.
But so far only in Russia, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's over here, I mean, in the U.S., of course, the medical industry is quite a bit more restrictive about things. And so Europe is well ahead in a lot of areas in holistic treatment. I know a lot of the countries even have degrees. I think the Germans or Austrians have degrees and things like dowsing and things like that still.
Yeah, I mean, in London, you can go to a homeopathic hospital. It's more common here.
Yeah, and homeopathy used to be the major hospitals here until the early 1900s, and then they were run out of business.
Oh, really?
Allopathic. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of locked in medical structure here, so there's not a lot of freedom in that regard. Although the alternative, growth is huge, and people are looking for alternatives because of
Well, the thing is to be able to help yourself. I think that's key. To have the tools and the knowledge to know what to do when you need acutely or need for yourself or someone else to improve something in your body. I think you need to have the knowledge yourself. It's really important.
Absolutely, yeah. We've done a lot in chronic pain, looking at chronic pain, and that's something even the medical establishment is pretty much helpless with. And so they really encourage people to learn self-help techniques and learn things that will help them to manage chronic pain, because it's something that the Western allopathic model doesn't understand how the body works and how the emotions and the thoughts tie into pain and how the cellular memory. And so they treat everything as a mechanical problem. And so anything that's not mechanical, obviously the Western medicine has a lot of struggles with. And so that's where something like this can really be valuable in helping people that are.
Oh yeah, I mean, also what you're talking about is so true that, you know, everything I believe comes from either emotional or mental problems. And that's something Boris is very, very knowledgeable about. He's written several books about this, how it all comes together, you know, why disease form and when disease form and when treatment should be put in and things like this. So he's very knowledgeable about the whole true process of becoming ill and what to do about it. So I don't think he's ever taken a pill in his entire life.
Anette, kan du lite översätta? Jag måste veta om vad då diskussion, kanske jag kan också.
Jag kan inte göra det just nu, han spelar in live, så jag kan inte göra det just nu tyvärr.
Det måste komma fram att vi tänker inte på sjukhuset använda någonstans, utan vi jobbar för hälsan. Vi använder Aquatone nu i Europa för hälsans skull, inte för sjukhus eller någonting sånt. Det är Ryssland som använder på sjukhuset, men vi här vill jobba med hälsan.
What Boris wants to emphasize is that although they're using Aquatone in hospitals, it's really important, as we have said, I don't think he got that, but for personal use, and that's what's being used in the remaining European countries, is that it's individuals who use Aquatone.
Yeah.
That's what we want to say.
That makes sense. It's just a lot of people, because we're so medical driven here, that a lot of people really need that validation that, oh, it's being used in hospitals or used.
Yeah.
So that can help some people to overcome this feeling that it's just something strange out there. And it's hard to get studies done here. The cost of doing studies is so exorbitant. So I know that in places like Russia, they're much more open to studying these holistic devices and alternative, their energy therapy techniques. And so just because the American Medical Association hasn't done studies doesn't mean that people around the world haven't done studies. No. So I think the thing to ask is, we've got some videos where people can learn more about the Aquatone. I think that was a better way for them to be able to try to learn from some of the stuff you've already created. But what is the availability right now, and what is your plan for making these available to people? When we do reach an audience around the world, so pretty much anybody in the English-speaking world could be listening to this.
Yeah, they can just go into our website, mr-ab.se, www.mr-ab.se, and they can click on the English version on the upper hand right corner, and they get everything translated in English, and then they can go to the purchase page, the web shop, and they will find Aquatone there, and it will be distributed directly to their home.
Okay, so you can ship it pretty much anywhere in the world. Infrastructure, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
let me ask Boris a special question here for your for your listeners. Boris, om de som vill köpa Aquatone som lyssnar på det här, får de en specialpris om de gör det nu via honom? Kan vi ge honom?
Absolut.
Kan vi ge dem? Vad sa du?
Ja, vi kommer ut om en månad. Vi kommer en ny version, Aquatone Advanced, ja. Och den ska kosta 490 euro. Men de som vill köpa genom honom så kan man köpa för 400 euro. Annars 490 ska kosta.
Okay, so what we can do now for your listeners, what they can do if they would like to get this Aquatone device sent to them, we can have a special offer for them. There will be a new edition of Aquatone coming out in 1 month. And if they would like to have this, it's regularly 490 euros. They will receive it to the price of 400. Okay. So 400 euros.
And what deadline should we put on that for people as far as ordering that?
They have to put the order in before the end of March.
Okay, so it's before April 1st, and this is a new English version, you're saying, of the unit?
This is the absolutely latest version. It's slightly more effective because they also have added the golden ratio into the frequency.
Okay. Okay, so that's a nice, generous offer. So we will we'll put all that on the webpage when this goes out.
Oh, great, fantastic.
So there'll be a link, and we'll put that on there. And
they can also have the YouTube addresses and the Aquatone website address, of course.
Yeah, we'll put all that on the page for people when this goes out, and so it'll be easily accessible, so our audience can check it out. And it's pretty advanced stuff. There's not too many of them in the U.S. right now. I take it. Just
yeah, it's the latest technology, really. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what the Italian Parliament says, and it has been introduced in France and other countries as well. So we're just waiting for the boom.
Yeah, well, no, it's a really interesting device, and like I say, I found it to be effective and helpful, and that's a reasonable price for something that is going to impact the quality of your life for years to come. So, any other things you want to add before we wrap up?
Yes, I can add that I purchased my handbag according to the size of Aquatone because I carry it with me everywhere. No, it's a really handy thing to always have around. So I always carry it with me wherever I go. Because always there's someone who needs help,
Yeah,
Boris, är det någonting du vill lägga till?
Ja, jag vill säga, jag kan skicka till honom en presentation, jag kan skicka video till honom på engelska, jag kan skicka material till honom för att han vet mer på grund av, vi kunde inte...
Men är det någonting du vill säga mer om Aquatone? What's really interesting also is that if listeners are interested, they can go and read the scientific reports. Most of them have already been translated into English, so they can read about, the scientific basis behind all this.
All right, so why don't you, to wrap up, why don't you kind of give us the primary recommended if people are dealing with certain things, obviously like chronic pain or acute pain, or what would you say are the key areas that people should really take a serious look at this, obviously for overall wellness?
Both. I mean, acute, of course, and something is acute, it's acute. You need help now, and that's when it works. But also chronic issue, it takes longer, but it really works there too. You have to have patience. It's just not like taking a pill and, it takes maybe 20 minutes and it's gone. It's something you have to learn how your body works, but it's really helpful in acute situations and also in chronic situations and for all kinds of ailments because the body heals itself in a natural way.
Okay. And I know that the manual does give different settings for different...
Oh yeah, because the frequencies are slightly different.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to follow and to operate, and you've got some additional training videos and things like that as well.
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll have a link at the bottom of the page that will allow you to click to the website, and you can read about the Aquatone. And is the practitioner version available for the U.S. as well if someone wants that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's on the website as well.
Oh yeah, it is. If it's not, I'll tell Boris to put it on right away. But I'm pretty sure it is there.
Okay, so that is if you are a practitioner, because this personal unit is probably not really designed for rigorous, use in a clinic if you're going to be using it a lot.
Yeah, they probably need a little bit more advanced equipment. Also easier to handle. I mean, if you want to do other therapeutic therapies at the same time. So.
But for personal use, it's a wonderful, easy to hold. It's designed to grip very easily in one hand and move around. So,
I actually improved both my eyesight and my hearing in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sensational. But it's very individual, everything is. So some people have immediate results. Other people may have to need, a little bit longer time to have the problem solved.
So why don't you show us what you did for your eyesight? Can you just kind of...
Oh, I just put on, I had level 2 and mode 2. And then I put it on the eye for 10 minutes on one eye and 10 minutes on the other eye. Okay. And then I did the same thing on the ear. I had a slightly different program because my hearing, could be better. And after 10 minutes, I just felt this enormous sensation. It was like a blast in my ear. Something really was released. It was amazing to see something or feel it so concretely. it was immediate effect there. But sometimes, it takes longer for knees to heal, or
Sure.
for scarring, for bruises, you see almost immediate effects, or at least I have. I can only speak for myself here. So.
All right. Well, I'll have to try that. I'll try the eye thing and the ear thing for sure.
Yeah, do that.
Because I've noticed I'm starting to get a little reading my music. I sing in the chorus and trying to read the music. I purposely have weaker glasses to try to keep my eyes more flexible.
Yeah.
But,
and also really, really good to do on a regular basis is on the thymus.
Okay.
Level 2, Mo2. Just keep your immune system strong.
Wonderful.
Just really good thing to do. And also really good to use the palms of your hand and the palms of your feet, because all acupuncture points are there. So by touching those areas, you reach all organs.
Okay, that's very interesting. So I will keep working with this one, and
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, well, we thank you both for coming, and again, we'll have more information here on the website and on the page here that you can click through and learn. So please do. And we apologize, a little bit of a language barrier, but on the other hand, you're getting cutting edge information that very few people are knowing about. So Annette's done a great job of sharing with us, and we thank Boris as well for being here and for all his work.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, well, thanks very much, and I encourage everyone to check that out.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.